Galloway's Tech Talk at 3, how to use the WeWALK Smart Cane and the WeWALK app.
Okay, welcome everybody to Galloway's Tech Talk at 3. It's Andrew for Galloway's. I hope everybody's doing okay and cooling down a little bit after all that hot weather. I'm really excited today to be joined by Jean-Marc and Joe from WeWALK. It's great to have you guys with us. How are you guys doing?
We're all good. Thank you very much for having us on. It really is great to be here and to speak to the Galloway community as well. And a bit of a brief introduction on me then. So I'm Jean-Marc, WeWALK's Head of Research and Development. I'm also visually impaired myself with Leber's congenital amaurosis. So very much so loving and using and developing the technology, which we're going to talk about today. And I very much have the privilege of working with Joe.
Hey, Joe. How's it going, Joe?
It's going well over here. Thank you for passing it on, Jean-Marc. I am Joe. I am the community manager for WeWALK. So I've been with WeWALK for about a year now. I'm originally from the US, and I work directly with our user community to understand their feedback and make sure that those feedbacks are turned into actions. So very excited to be part of the community today, and we're excited to be able to share WeWALK with your group today.
Excellent stuff. Okie dokie. Well, brilliant, great guys. I'm really looking forward to this. And as I was saying a few weeks ago, we had a little look at the WeWALK app. Very impressed with it. I'm very impressed with it. I've been using it quite a bit, but we're very interested in the smart cane technology as well, and I guess more to find out about where it all started and where you guys are up to now. So I'll hand over to yourself, Sean, and off you go.
Yep, let's do it. So I think it's really important to stress before we even talk about the technology is why. Why are we here? Why did WeWALK become a thing? And the thing is, it's because we're the users of our own tech. You know, we genuinely believe that there's some amazing tech out there for our visually impaired community, and that we can learn from everything that's out there to make a solution which is different, something which can help our own community out. So we're very much so an organization driven by these lived experiences. We've started working for visual impairment, but who knows where technology can help in the future. And well, our invention is WeWALK, and it's a smartphone and smart cane combo that can each function standalone. Although our smartphone app is the one which we had talked about previously, we're going to dive into both of them and talk about what we do. So the WeWALK smart cane is quite simple. On screen right now, there's someone holding it. It is used exactly as if you'd use a standard traditional cane. You'd use your exact same techniques, constant contact, two-point touch, but we've taken off the rubber handle and we've replaced it with the WeWALK handle. That's the only tech inside it. Your rolling tip, everything stays the same. You hold it in the same way, but when WeWALK is connected to your cane, you get obstacle detection. So you can get upper body obstacle detection for things like low-hanging tree branches. We've even got a touchpad, speaker, microphone, as well as a plethora of sensors built into that WeWALK handle. So the whole thing is encapsulated into one little space. But what's really cool is that this comes with the WeWALK smartphone app. Now the smartphone app, again, can be used standalone. You can download it right now and benefit from our navigation and exploration features. But the benefit is it is the only smart cane / smartphone combo. So you can put your smartphone in your pocket and control the entire WeWALK app with gestures from your smart cane. So you don't have to hold a smartphone and a smart cane in two hands. You can keep one hand free whilst navigating the road ahead of you. And on screen right now, I've got 3 screenshots of the WeWALK app itself. On the left-hand side, we have a screen showing our low vision mapping menu. And we're very proud of this because not enough people do this. A lot of us rely on our residual sight, myself included, and we've designed the WeWALK map and the entire app interface to be low vision compatible. So you can change text sizes, you can change low vision settings. It's a very, very customizable experience. And you can even choose how often WeWALK tells you about turning points and the current heading. So you can select distances, times. The entire app is customizable based on your requirements. Now, Joe's going to talk about this in more depth later, but as a heads up, the WeWALK app is a growing and pretty rigorous platform as it is right now. We're not just a navigation app. We're also a multimodal transport app. So WeWALK can tell you when your bus is coming. It can get you on the right bus. It can tell you when to get off at the bus stop. It's a step-by-step journey planner. We even have exploration mode. So WeWALK will tell you about nearby shops, businesses, restaurants, all automatically. Or if you want to go through a list, you could do that as well with the WeWALK app. So everything is totally seamless, totally accessible. But we realize it's not a perfect solution. We're totally open to feedback. So every single person that purchases a WeWalk or uses our app gets support from us. You can reach out to myself, to Joe, to our entire team, and we talk you through any issues you're having. And we'd also take on board any of your feedback on how we can improve the app. It really is because of our community and to the great people that Joe works with that we actually have come as far as we have today. A lot of our features are co-designed with our community, and we're so grateful for that. But WeWalk isn't a static platform. So we've made a commitment that WeWalk is a constantly expanding platform, and we've built our software to do just that. So it's very easily integrable with new features, new software updates, and they come free of charge via our Smart Cane firmware or smartphone software updates. One of these features, which we're really excited about, is a feature we're working with Microsoft. So we realized that the sensors inside WeWalk, which we are only just using for power saving, can you believe it, could actually be used to track how your mobility is changing, like a fitness tracker app. You can buy a Fitbit. Well, why not just equip it to the cane, which is something which we rely on practically every day. And so with WeWalk, in the next month or two, when we'll be releasing this feature, WeWalk can act as a tracker. It can tell you how often you're spending time outdoors, how much you're spending time outdoors, your average walking speed, your distance traveled. It's pretty cool. And we can even use it to help our mobility trainers. So if you're a mobility trainer and you'd like to get insights from students, or you just like to share your data and progress with your mobility trainer, you can also do that through our mobility tracking solution. Another one of our cool features is one which is coming out in March, which is our indoor navigation solution. So WeWalk works outdoors right now. It's fully functional, but we realize that we operate in indoor spaces too, right? And we should try to fix that. And again, we've launched a partnership with Imperial College London and the RNIB, so we have them as project partners, and we're working on delivering this project in March. So again, another exciting update to WeWalk that is coming quite soon. And we're lucky to say we've received quite a few awards for our invention, a Time Best Invention of 2019, an Edison Gold Award, even an honorable mention by Fast Company. And again, it's all thanks to the people that believed in us and thanks to our own community. So we're very proud to say that mainstream media sources are now really shedding a light on visual impairment. They're talking about our stories, they're talking about the tools that we use, and hopefully this creates a better shift for change so that more people can develop assistive technology. So that is it from me. I'm now going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to quickly talk you through the WeWalk hardware itself before I pass on to Joe, who will dive into our software features. But on screen right now, I actually have my very own WeWalk. It's been battered. It's been all over the world. It's quite a cool little device. And every WeWalk we provide ships with an Ambitech cane. So this is an Ambitech graphite cane with a changeable tip. So WeWalk can always be changed up from cane to cane if your cane ever breaks. It's a simple attachment, as you can see. It's part of the cane handle that can fold up. It's a bit thicker, of course, a bit thicker, a bit heavier, but it's just a cane, basically. It's kind of a conical shape that starts quite thin at the very top, then expands and expands as it comes towards the point at which it joins on the shaft. And then the rest of it is just a standard cane, as you would expect a cane to be. At the very front is the obstacle detection sensor. It's like a dimpled little area. And right above that, again, is another dimpled area that's marked on the edges by a square. And this is our touchpad. And right above that is our vibration buttons. That's when the cane will vibrate to let you know about your nearby obstacles with our vibration motor built in. And then we've got our rubber grip. It's a very comfy rubber grip. And it actually, unlike a lot of rubber grips, doesn't get that sticky. I've had canes before that get really icky after about a year or two of use, whereas this one's been going strong for a long time. So that's it from me in terms of our hardware. On to you, Joe, to talk through what we do with our software.
Okay, bear me to get 2 secs, guys.
Excellent. So one thing that you can do, if you haven't already done so, is download the WeWalk app on iOS and Android devices. It's completely free, and it's a good way to be able to get familiarized with WeWalk app and Smart Cane's features. Now, I'm not going to run through each and every feature just because of limited time, but if you do have any questions as I'm running through this, please keep those in your head and feel free to ask them after I've gone through the software portion. So one of the main features of WeWalk app is our Navigate feature. Our Navigate feature allows you to get step-by-step navigation in order to get from one destination to another. And you simply access it by tapping the Navigate button. So when I tap the Navigate button, I'm taken to another screen where it says where to, and then from there I can type in a destination. So for example, let's say I want to go to a Starbucks. I can simply type Starbucks, and it'll pull up all the closest Starbucks around me. And if I want to navigate to a destination, I simply select it. And now I'm taken to another screen. And here I can change my current location. So I can change it from my current location to an alternate location. So let's say, for example, I don't want to start at my current location. I want to start from, let's say, a park that's next to me. I can go ahead and change that. In this example, I'm just going to keep it as is. And I'm going to hit the Go There button on the screen, and it'll take me to another screen. And here it shows your current location and my end destination, which is Starbucks. And then I'll have a set of directions that I can take in order to get there. So I can get there either by walking. If it's far away, I'll also have an option to go there via Uber. Or another exciting feature, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, is multimodal navigation that allows me to be able to take a combination of walking as well as public transit directions in order to get to my end destination. So if a place is maybe 10 kilometers away, you don't really feel like walking 10 kilometers in the summer heat right now. So you have that option of being able to take a bus or a train in addition to walking directions to get to your destination. Now I'm going to go ahead and tap the walk button. And what that does is it opens up my navigational directions in order to get to my destination. So on this screen, on the right-hand side of my screen, I have a button. And I should mention that this is all fully compatible with TalkBack and VoiceOver. So if you use a screen reader, you'll be able to use that. Now, if I select the low vision mapping, this is what John Mark was referring to earlier, where we've optimized the WeWALK app for not only blind users, but for low vision users as well. And this map will show high contrast colors and make it very visible for users to be able to see the path that they need to take in order to get to their destination. If I want to go back to the previous screen, I simply select the text button, and it'll take me back to my navigational directions text view. At the very top of the screen, I have my destination address, as well as my estimated time of arrival to the destination. Right below that, I have some key tracking information. So the nice thing about the WeWALK app is we offer clock direction navigation. And we offer a lot of customization, which means if you don't want to use clock directions and you want to use cardinal directions, or you want to use relative directions, which are your normal straight left, right, you can modify that under the preferences menu. Right below that, I also have the total estimated distance before I arrive at my destination. And then I have a percent completion, which is very useful for visually impaired users to know whether or not they're going the correct direction. So for example, as soon as you start walking, it's going to start counting up from 0% until 100%. So as you get closer and closer to your destination, it's going to start counting up to let you know that you're going the correct way. If for any reason it starts to get stuck at, let's say, 20%, you know at that point that perhaps maybe you veered off the incorrect way. But you'd never have to worry about going the incorrect way because we have auto reroute refresh built in, which means if you happen to take a wrong turn, it'll just automatically refresh your route and take you an alternate way to get to your destination. And right below the percent completion, we have the different navigational steps in order to get to your destination. So one of the navigational steps is head your 2 o'clock on Kataman Sokak for 850 feet. That tells me my next set of steps, which is heading on my 2 o'clock direction, which would be in front of me, towards Kodaman Street for 850 feet. And again, it lists it all out step by step on which directions I need to take. And if I want to end my navigation, I simply hit an X at the bottom of the screen or select End Navigation with VoiceOver. Now I'm going to go back to the home screen just because this is the screen that you're going to be accessing most often. And just to go through some of the main features of the home screen, at the very top of the home screen is your current address, and this just refreshes automatically. If we swipe with VoiceOver to the right, you'll have the Save Location button. And if I hit the Save Location button, that allows me to save my current location. And I can hit the Save Location button on this screen in order to be able to save my location, or if I want to edit it. So for example, you may be at home and you want to save your current location and title it home. You can modify that by hitting your keyboard. I can also share my current location with other individuals as well by pressing the share location button. Or if I don't want to press it here, if I just go back to the home screen, there's a share location button that's conveniently available. And if I hit the share location button, it allows me to share my current location with other WeWalk app users. So I can share it via email, via text message. And what it does is it generates a unique link that another WeWalk app user can tap on and get turn-by-turn directions in order to get to where you're currently at. So this is very useful if, let's say, you're exploring unknown territory. You happen to get yourself lost. You don't want to use Navigate, but you want someone to meet you. Let's say you're at a really good cafe. You can share your current location to that cafe, and another WeWalk app user will be able to get turn-by-turn navigation in order to get to your destination. So very convenient for those use case scenarios. The exploration mode is a very good feature for also being able to discover new places around you. So if you've ever wanted to try new restaurants, new cafes, but you're not quite familiar with the territory that you're at, you can enable the exploration mode switch. And what it does is it starts scanning your current location for any popular places around you. So it starts looking for any museums, art galleries, universities, cafes. And as you keep walking, it's just constantly scanning for those popular places, and it will announce the popular place's name, its distance, as well as its clock direction. Now, if I disable that, it'll stop doing those announcements. We'll get to the Connect WeWalk button in a few minutes, but I just want to cover the other items on the main screen before we go into that. Now, the Explore button can be used in order to be able to find your popular places by category. So instead of walking around and having the places announced to you, you can actually access those places through the Explore menu. And in the screen, I have all the different categories sorted. So I have all arts and entertainment, food and cafes, professional and others, shops and services. I can select any one of those buttons, and I'm just going to go ahead and tap the arts and entertainment button. And what I have now is a list of popular arts and entertainment options around me, as well as the clock direction and their distance. And it's automatically sorted by the distance, starting with the place that's closest to you. If I were to select any one of those, it gives me another menu option. And this menu option has the address for, the clock direction, as well as the distance for the point of interest. I have a Go There button that allows me to go to that destination. I can go there with an Uber, and you do need to have the Uber app installed in order to be able to use this feature. I can save that point of interest for easy access later on, or I could share that location. I'm going to go back to the home screen once again. And right below the Explore button, I have the Transport button. The Transport button allows me to view all public transportation options around me, including trains and metro stations. Metro stations and bus stations. So if I were to select any one of those bus or metro stations that are around me, I have a full list of it right now, as well as the clock direction. If I select one of those, it pulls up another menu option. And this time I have a menu option to go there directly, go there with Uber, select transport lines, save location, or share location. If I tap the transport lines button, what that does is it will open a screen that actually shows the arrival times of the bus or train stop at that particular stop. So now I'm on a screen that actually shows what time the bus or metro stop will arrive. And if I select one of those buses, what it does is it shows a list of stops that that bus is making. Now, if I tap on a stop that I want to get off at, what it does is it enables stop notifications. And what that means is as I approach my stops, 2 stops before I actually arrive at the stop that I'm trying to get off at, I get an in-app as well as an audio notification to let me know that I need to prepare to get off my stop. Once I arrive at my stop, I'm going to get notified one more time to let me know that this is the stop that I need to get off at. So for you out there that enjoys riding public transportation, this is a very useful feature for you to make sure you never miss your stop. I'm going to go back to the home screen once again. Now in the home screen, I have one button called My Places, and anytime you save a location, it gets saved here. So if you save a popular point of interest or you save your current location, think of this as your bookmarks or your favorites for your computer, where anything that you save gets saved here for easy access later on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my WeWALK Smart Cane now, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it. And connecting the WeWALK Smart Cane is very simple. It's as simple as tapping the Connect WeWALK button that can be found on the home screen of your WeWALK app. So if I go ahead and connect that, it connects via Bluetooth. And now that it's connected, on my home screen, I now have my battery level displayed for my WeWALK. So my WeWALK is currently at 75%. And my Connect WeWALK button has changed from Connect WeWALK to Disconnect. I now have an extra button called Where is my WeWALK? And this is very useful if you ever need to locate your smart cane in a pinch. So for example, let's say you can't find it, you just want to quickly find it. I just press that button and it makes that noise for my WeWALK smart cane, and that allows me to easily locate it. Now, the nice thing about the WeWALK smart cane is we also have a built-in compass. What that means is it allows you to be able to use your WeWALK smart cane while having your phone in your pocket, in your purse, and that frees up your other hand to be able to use for whatever you'd like. So as you're walking, if you want to activate the voice menu in order to be able to access all the features that we've just talked about, you simply need to do a double tap with one finger, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to do a double tap with one finger. And now I've activated my voice menu. And I know I'm at my voice menu because it'll switch to a single line screen and it'll notify me which menu option in the voice menu I'm currently on. So right now I'm under My Places. However, if I swipe from left to right or from right to left, either one works. It actually swipes between the different voice menu options. So the options that you're hearing are the options that we had just gone through earlier on. And if I want to access any one of those option items, I simply double tap again. So now I've accessed one of my voice menu options. Now, if I want to swipe out of that menu option, I simply do a swipe up. So swiping away from you towards the ground allows me to go up in my menu options. And a good way to think of it is if you're using a screen reader, or if, for example, you're using a computer, you're usually double tapping or double clicking things in order to open up options. If you're using your phone and you're swiping between menu items or pages, what you're usually doing is you're swiping left and right to swipe between the different pages. And when you're closing items, you're usually swiping upwards. So that's a good way to be able to remember all the different voice menu commands. Now I'm going to go ahead and swipe left to right again to navigate through. And actually, let me just go ahead and exit so that I can remind you one more time on how to access the voice menu. So again, it's a simple double tap with one finger. And now I can swipe left and right to access the different menu option items. Now, if I want to modify my device preferences, I just go to device preferences. Here I can modify sound level. I can modify the obstacle detection. So if you are outside and let's say you want to modify your obstacle detection levels, you can simply double tap it. We have 4 obstacle detection levels to choose from. We have min, low, mid, and max. When you're outside, we typically recommend that our users set it to max. That way it's detecting maximum obstacles. But you could set it to low when you're inside. That way it's not constantly vibrating on you when you're indoors. You should set it based on what works best for you. And as a reminder, it does only detect obstacles above chest level, and it can detect obstacles up to 160 centimeters. Our lowest setting is at 80 centimeters. Now, what's nice about the WeWALK Smart Cane too is you don't just have to limit it to detecting obstacles. You can also use it for other use case scenarios. So for example, let's say you're entering an elevator and you want to use the obstacle detection in order to be able to let you know when it's safe to enter the elevator. You can hold the WeWALK in a vertical fashion, and then you can point the ultrasonic sensor towards the elevator door And when it's vibrating, at that point, you know that the elevator door is closed because it's sensing that door as an obstacle. When the door opens, you know at that point that the elevator door has opened and it's safe to enter. And it works well for revolving doors as well. So I've gone ahead and covered the main aspects of the software. One thing I'd also like to point out before I end the software section is, as John Mark mentioned earlier, learning any new piece of technology will take a little bit of time. That's why we offer that free training and support. So you can schedule one-on-one sessions with our WeWALK specialists as often as you like, whenever you'd like, just to make sure that you're adapting your WeWALK Smart Cane. We also offer tutorials through the WeWALK Academy. So in the application, if you tap the WeWALK Academy button, we have audio tutorials as well as written tutorials to help you get more familiarized with your WeWALK Smart Cane. And that covers the software as well as accessing the voice menu.
Excellent stuff. Very, very in-depth demonstration there. A lot of information, some nice additional features in there. What obviously once you're using the hardware itself, and I've got to congratulate you on the actual, you know, the app design, because I think, you know, lots of us use different applications for navigation. We have done over the years, and it's just a breeze actually when you're using voiceover or talkback to actually navigate through the app. It just kind of, it flows, it works. It doesn't like jump all over the place like it can do on other apps. And I think for me as a low vision user myself, you know, you can make the text, you know, really, really like super big, nice high contrast, and it's nice and compact, you know, whereas a lot of apps, there are a lot of other apps out there that kind of, you know, there's lots of buttons all over the place to try and find, and in this one it's just a nice, in like almost like a list format, and it just makes it a breeze really to be able to use, and the navigation's really good as well. So you've obviously taken a lot of care there to and worked with other blind and partially sighted people really to find out kind of how they would want to navigate an app like this. Would that be right in saying?
I was like, yes, we do that. Indeed, yeah. So it's based on literature review, a lot of prior case studies. So it's a good combination of user requirements and also academia. So it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really, really good stuff. And it's really, really exciting to see the development of this and all the new features coming out as well. You know, I really like you know, the idea of getting on the bus and being able to, you know, say this is the stop that I want to get off at, and you know, you're using your own technology. You're not relying on those announcements that the buses should have, but then you get on the bus and the announcements aren't there. So you know, you're just using technology. You're taking responsibility for your own needs and your own independence rather than relying on other people. You know, I don't like to have to rely on other people. So this is great that we can do that with an app.
Also, I like how we're ending on a high. We've got Max written on screen for the obstacle detection. So
yeah, absolutely. We got you on dual screens now.
This is great.
Which is great. I've got a few questions that have come through the email. If I could ask those first, if that's all right with you guys, and then we can open the floor up a little bit, and if anybody wants to ask a question, they can ask a question as well. So are you ready for me to shoot? Okay, here we go. The first question is just kind of around the durability of the actual cane itself. The durability of the casing. If you accidentally drop it, is it kind of drop proof? Is it waterproof? What are the do's and the don'ts, if you like, of looking after it?
I mean, why not we can just do a drop test right now.
Oh no, don't do it.
That's WeWALK on fire during it. I can attest to this because it's tougher than your standard cane. We'll tell you that. In terms of the actual handle itself, the point at which it joins, it's a pretty tough device. Now, obviously, and we cover that, so we stand by it. We give it a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. And so if you drop it, it's going to be perfectly fine. Like just any standard. I mean, so there you go. I mean,
You heard it, guys. You heard
so
it.
you heard it there. It'll be fine. I mean, from standard drops, it should be good to go. Obviously, if you throw it off a bridge or slam it against the wall as hard as you could, then yes, we don't cover that. That's going to be, it's going to break, as any tech device would. But overall, it's very, very durable. So as long as you use it as any standard cane could be used, you should be good to go. And in terms of waterproofing, I will mention this. It is not a waterproof device. We like to think of it as water resistant. So if you get a couple of drops in rain on there, that's perfectly fine. But to use a touchpad and the sensors, obviously having wet fingers and all that doesn't really work. So we provide a case in the box. You can keep using WeWALK's compass and keep using it whilst having that case on top to make it really waterproof and usable in any environmental conditions.
Excellent. Right. Got you. Excellent. That's a good idea, that having a case to put over it just as a waterproof to make it more kind of water resistant. Just don't go taking it in the swimming pool or anything like that, because it's not going to work then. The next question is kind of how easy is it to update the firmware in the smart cane? Does it kind of update itself, or do you have to kind of do that from the app?
No, so it's from the app, and it's really simple. So when WeWALK has a firmware update, you connect your WeWALK. It says, by the way, you've got a firmware update, click OK, and it'll take a few minutes and you'll be good to go. You'll need your WeWALK connected, of course. And even if it disconnects halfway through, for instance, it fixes itself. It's pretty intuitive. And the majority of things happen through software, though. So firmware is a larger release cycle. Software is just a simple update. We release updates every few weeks. So on your Apple Store, on your Android store as well, or iOS and Android, you can also just update the app and you'll get all the new features.
Excellent. Okay. And due to the question here is due to the size. It looks smaller to me, like seeing it on here today. So it doesn't look as big as I thought it was, which is a good thing. And due to the size of the smart cane, the question is, can you get kind of fatigued from using it? Is it heavy? Is it, would you get tired from using it long periods of time and things like that, or is it quite light to use?
So it will take a bit of getting used to. It is, it just is a little bit heavier and a little bit bigger, not substantially so. We've tried to remedy a lot of those issues with a lighter cane, which we ship with. So it might take a week or so, because if you've been using a standard cane for years and years and years, it's going to feel a bit different. But after about a week or two, you should get into the flow of it. You should be good to go. Now, there are instances, and I will warn you guys, because I'd rather you get the full experience and that WeWALK works for you. If you have really, really small hands, it could be a little bit challenging on your wrist. But in most cases, people just acclimate to it in the space of a few days to a few weeks, and then you're good to go. It'll just feel like a normal cane.
Yeah, it's just adjusting, isn't it? It's
exactly
like lifting weights, you have to build up to it.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, Andrew, one of my responsibilities is just speaking to users from all walks of life. So I've spoken to smart cane users who are as young as 14-year-olds to as old as 70-year-olds, and they've all adjusted to the weight of the cane. It's about 0.8 pounds, which is about 0.35 kilograms, 36 kilograms. And at first it'll feel heavy because you're coming from a white cane that does nothing but is just a standard white cane. However, when you start adding in like the battery and like all the technology that's packed into such a small device, that's where the added weight comes from. So it does take a little bit of time to get used to the extra weight, but from my experience with speaking with users, they've gotten used to it quite quickly.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Joe. Got two more questions that have come in via email. Just two more, and then we'll open the floor. In terms of this question from me, in terms of kind of the charging the device up and using it, what's the kind of recommended kind of usage time, average usage time, I guess, and then the charge time as well? What's the kind of charge usage cycle with using the device?
Well, I'll go first and talk about personal experience, and then we can maybe hear some of your user opinions, Joe, because we get a lot of them. So in terms of the actual charging, it's pretty simple. It's a micro USB cable, so you could use your phone brick charger, you could use your laptop, anything which has a USB port can charge WeWALK. In terms of charge time, it's actually quite long, but it depends on what you're doing with it. So if you're a power user, you've got everything on, obstacle detection, navigation, like you're really going to town on it. It is about 6 hours of continuous use. So that's it being on. But if you're being more sporadic, so I use mine mainly at night, once every other day, for instance, just because I don't need navigation every night when I'm making familiar journeys, it can easily get you a few weeks. So it's very variable, but even at the lowest, heaviest use cases, it should still get you through a few days to a week.
Excellent. Yeah, it's all about the settings, isn't it? About how much you maximize all the different features on it at any one time. Yeah. Excellent.
When I speak with users, I've never had anyone say that, oh, I'm constantly having to charge this. As Jean-Marc had mentioned, it really varies on use, but it's one of those things where if you happen to forget it overnight, your WeWalk is probably still going to have a 50% charge by the time you wake up, because it has a smart sleep function, which means when it's not being used, it tries to conserve energy by going to sleep. And then when you do need to use it, it wakes up from sleep.
Excellent. Yeah.
As far as charging it, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to go from 0% to 100% charge. And the battery life, again, as Jean-Marc mentioned, will vary depending on how often.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, you're going to get, like, if you're an average user, you're probably going to get a couple of days, put it on charge overnight, go to bed, next day you wake up, it's fully charged again. Similar thing, obviously my mobile phone gets used a lot, so I have to charge it every day. But the battery in my mobile phone is probably doesn't have as much juice. But yeah, so it's going to vary for different people, as you say. It's going to vary depending on your usage of the device, and you'll soon get used to that. When you need to charge and when you need to cycle that charge.
Yeah,
that's great. The question, this question that's been asked, and it's one that I've got as well, is in the UK, what's the kind of the purchasing process? And from me really is kind of the $1 million question, I suppose. What's the price? What's the purchasing process? And where can you buy WeWalk from in the UK?
So you can come to my house. No, I'm just
Get the kettle on. Get the kettle on, Sean.
Yeah, it's a friends and family business. No, so we have several options. You can either purchase it online, so it's very simple, just heading to our website. However, we do have a physical office here that is actually it's now in Victoria, so we moved up. So if you really want to try it beforehand, you could shoot us over an email, and I'll include my email and Joe's email below. And if you are based near London, you can actually come and try one before buying it. We can organize a meetup and a demo session if you're comfortable, of course. But now that restrictions have opened up, obviously social distanced, we can find a way to meet and let you try the cane out. Otherwise, it's all pretty simple. It's all online. Just searching WeWalk, you should find our website, and you should also find a way to order. And we'll have some links as well to other places. To get it shipped to you. It's quite easy.
Okay, cool. And when you try it, is it one of those? Is there like a limited time? If it's not right for you, do you accept the cane back if it's not the right thing for somebody? They try it within, say, 14 days or 30 days. Is there a way of saying, well, it's not quite worked for me? Is there kind of a trial period?
Yeah, you'll have to get through Joe first, though. But he's a pretty nice guy, so you're lucky.
We do offer a 30-day return window for our smart cane. So if you feel like it's not right for you, let us know, and we'll work with you on figuring out the best way to get it returned. But yes, we are flexible, but we try to go through those training sessions as well, just to help you adapt to it. So I find that most of the time, once they go through the training sessions, once they get used to it, it really helps a lot when you're trying to first start to use your smart cane. So
got that support. Okay, cool.
And you get to talk to Joe as well.
You get to talk to Joe.
Or
go for a brew with you, Jean-Marc. Yeah. Coffee or tea.
We come as a package, okay?
Right. And I'm gonna ask it. How much does the smart cane cost?
Yes, it's $599 US, and
okay.
And that includes free shipping as well. And it includes a free waterproof leather case and a Bluetooth earpiece. And I should also mention that it works with other Bluetooth earpieces as well. And if you're going to be using the WeWALK Smart Cane outdoors, we recommend using some sort of earpiece to get the best audio experience. Now, if you don't have a Bluetooth earpiece, you can use AirPods, you can use a wired headset if you like. Any one of those will work. Some of our users use bone conducting headsets. You can use those as well.
Oh, okay, cool. I actually think that's a pretty fair price. Actually, I think that's really good, a really good price, because sometimes we we look at technology on the market, and we sometimes we're going into thousands, absolutely thousands of pounds for things. And I just think I'm really pleased with that. But that's a really good price for a product like this, which is quite bespoke, and it's gonna, that is it's within the realms of affordability. It's quite a considerate purchase, something that you have to consider the cost of, but it's a fair price. I quite like that. Really good, guys.
We're glad you said that. Yeah, I mean, we saw the prices and everything, realized there's no point in designing something if no one can afford it, right?
Yeah.
So we were lucky as well with the people we work with. So again, because we work with manufacturing partners like Vestel, so this is not just manufactured overseas somewhere. It's actually manufactured by the largest white goods manufacturer in Europe, an organization called Vestel. So they do all the QA, they make sure it's a good product, and they get to manufacture it at something that's sustainable to us, which gives us the opportunity to then pass it on to you guys.
Yeah.
So we're happy that we've sort of hit the market at a place that people can afford. Because again, we just want happy users. There's no point in designing something that's like a status piece, like, wow, WeWALK can do all this stuff, but then it doesn't actually end up helping anyone because no one can afford it. What's the point?
Yeah, there's a lot of technology on the market, and when you watch things like Dragon's Den and things like that, and people come up with really great ideas, and then they say, well, how much does it cost to make? It costs this much, and they're like, how much? Yeah. So how much do you sell it for? Oh, we sell it for this much. But your target audience aren't necessarily going to spend that much on your device. So actually, can you make it cheaper? And you're right. You've got to find a middle ground. Like, do we need all these bells and whistles? Is everybody going to use all those things? And if not, make something that's realistic. A product that's going to realistically appeal to people. That demographic or the usage criteria that of people that are going to use it. It's got to be realistic, hasn't it? And I think that's really good that you guys have done that. So yeah, great stuff. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the floodgates as we normally do, and I think we'll definitely have some questions for you guys. And bear with me, because when I do this, I can only have one person on the spotlight. Because otherwise it flicks through with everybody else's screens as well for some reason. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to make a decision. I'm going to remove you from the spotlight, Joe, but we can still hear you though. So please do stay with us. I'll keep Jean-Marc on the spotlight. I might even try and flip between the two of you if I can, but let me remove you. And we just got Jean-Marc now on the spotlight. Okay, just a few technical things for me to do here to get everybody back in. So what I'm going to do is ask you, all you guys, everybody else, if you'd like to unmute, you can. So I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves. Right. You can now all unmute yourselves if you'd like to. If you're on the phone, you can do *6. And I've just asked everybody if you'd like to unmute. So if anybody wants to unmute, you can unmute right now if you would like to ask a question. Okay.
I don't know, right? Later on, if the battery does wear out or goes wrong, can the battery be replaced?
You can't replace it yourself, but if you send it over to us, we'll find a way to make it right. Luckily, our oldest WeWALK units are now getting to 2.5 years old. I think my units actually hit that age now. It's been, it's not been used very kindly. So they last, they will survive. Again, just given that they aren't a charge every night device, you should have it for a few years. And even when it does wear out, which it hasn't yet for any users, we'll find a way to replace it and get it sorted.
Excellent. Yeah.
Does the field of detection decrease in rain or snow?
Yes. So ultrasonics generally just don't function as well when it comes to heavy rain. Snow, it's about the same thing. So if it is, it's only if anything's actively falling on the sensor. If it had just rained, obviously, or if it had just snowed, then you're good to go. It's more that if the sensor does get wet, or if significant snow piles up on it, then yes, it will become less effective. But that's just unfortunately a limitation of ultrasonics. No one's really solved that. That's like a fundamental core issue with the technology rather than anything else.
Just keep it clean, I suppose. Just
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
giving a bit of a wipe, and when you come in, give it a bit of a clean, so it's ready for the next day, I suppose, isn't it? You're going to
Exactly.
want to clean it, aren't you? At the end of the day, the
Oh
cane?
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good question, that Key.
Which
Excellent.
maps are you using to navigate? Is it Google Map or Apple Map?
So we're using a feature, a bunch of different APIs in our backend, a bunch of different ones chosen based on the amount of data they provide. So in terms of the maps, we are indeed using Google's mapping and routing algorithms for our just general maps. For our public transit, we're using the same APIs that Move It uses. So
Okay.
public transport.
Yeah.
So we go through Microsoft Azure. But so we use them, and then we kind of hack them and blend them in together to do the bus and walking transport, which is quite a cool thing. And then we use Foursquare for our point of interest search, which is the same exploration mode used by Blind Square. So we kind of picked and chosen the best features out there and smushed them into one app, basically.
That's awesome.
No
Yeah.
question is, what happens if you can't get signal? Is there a way to save a map to use to navigate?
Unfortunately not, but that's actually a very good point. So we've designed it in a way where if you don't actually have a map at the moment, or if the signal gets lost, it'll still keep using WeWalk sensor because you can do destination tracking. So the map doesn't show up. You'll still get destination is 700 meters away at 9 o'clock. So you can still kind of find your way around if you have to go through a park or somewhere that doesn't actually have a walking route, if that makes sense. But yeah, if we do lose signal and the map hasn't loaded, well, actually, if it's loaded already, if you already started navigation and you lose signal along the way, you'll be fine. It's more that if you don't have signal to begin with, then you cannot search for POIs. You can't actually search the map.
Thank you. That's all the question from me. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for that, Keith. Some really good questions there. Maybe that's some good feedback, that actually, isn't it? But maybe in a way, kind of downloading an app in the future is something that may be possible. You might look at that. And I know that I've sometimes done that when I've gone abroad somewhere, and you can use your GPS. For my wife's driving, you can use the GPS, but then you don't want to have to download the map at the same time because it uses your data. So you download it before you go.
I agree.
And then it's free to do. Yeah, cool.
It's a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
I've jotted that down. Yeah.
Sign him up. Keith, sign him up. Sign him up. Get him on there. Get him on the payroll, Jean-Marc.
And one thing I do want to mention is you're not just buying the WeWalk Smart Cane, but also the software itself. So we don't stop updating. Once you buy the cane, I mean, you're getting the updates that comes along with the cane. So things like that, where if later down the line we develop that feature where you can download offline maps, you're going to get that as part of having the WeWalk Smart Cane. And there's a lot, as Andrew said, there's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline. For example, we are planning on releasing an update next week, and it's going to include like a gamification aspect where you can actually compete with other WeWalk app users. So think of it as like a Fitbit.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so I expect to see you all on the leaderboard out there. I want to see the top contenders out there because, again, we want to encourage people to be independent, to go out there, use their WeWalk Smart Canes to make sure that they're constantly just being active. So all those free updates come with the WeWalk Cane.
That's cool. I love the idea of that, about people like competing with each other, see how far they can go. Yeah, I love that. Love it. Have we got any more? I'm sure we do.
Just a point about the actual cane itself. If the elastic breaks, and I have seen it happen with white canes in the past, does it have to go back to you to have a new elastic put in, or if the stick goes like a banana?
Oh no, it's really easy actually. So so this just screws into an adapter, and I'll show it on screen.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
look at this. It's almost as if we've done this before.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the cane was molded onto it.
No.
Yeah.
We thought about this thing. So takes a lot of screwing off, which you can tell gives us durability.
That's reassuring, really.
Yeah. So this just ties
okay.
off. So it's just you take off one section,
Right.
cut the string, you put this in instead, and you just tie it up. It's really easy. So this adapter we manufacture, we even give you a spare one in the box, so you can attach it to another cane, so you can have two canes ready for WeWalk.
Yeah, because I use red and white, you see, with being deaf as well, you know.
Right. Yep.
So that answers me. So it's probably, you know, get some red tape or those other canes if you could swap it on different canes.
Yeah, you'll just swap it and you should be good to go.
Great question.
Oh, well, that is good. Now, you could share locations like Andrew was saying. Can you share, and I could see the value with that with visually impaired. I'm going to meet you outside Asda or whatever you've decided to plan to meet, Broomy, Sunshine or whatever. Can you share it with sighted people? Because the thing is, I have heard the blind giving directions to the fully sighted in the past.
Yeah, so it's really easy. So when you log in when you open the WeWalk app, right at the front of the page is your address. And you can share that. There's a little share button. You click it. That's
oh right. I thought it was only with WeWalk users. You see?
No. So right now, you will have to download the WeWalk app to get that. But we're working to change that, so you can just copy and paste the text. So you can just paste it into a messenger app, whatever you'd like. Even do it via Google Maps. So yeah, we're expanding that feature set, so you won't just have to download the app to share your location. You can share your location.
My turn in a strange town or city.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I'm going to ask you a question. I like free things, right? I really do like free things. I think it's great. I think it's really great. And your app is free, which, you know, is superb. But will it stay free, or have you thought, you know, in the future possibly about monetizing the app? You know, I'm sorry, everybody. I know you like all free things like me as well. But realistically, is that something that would give that kind of, you know, the value, if you like? Is that something that you might consider in the future, kind of monetizing the app as well?
Andy, we're going to get you on our pricing. So, I mean, you're thinking along our same line. So yeah, we'll say this. When we first designed WeWalk and we made the app free of charge, we were genuinely thinking this is a great public service. Like, we want to get our community as mobile as possible. But what we found is it's almost like we're competing with ourselves. Like, the app has become such a great standalone device that we ended up accidentally building, you know, with WeWalk's improvement in the smart cane, that we wanted to open up development efforts on the app to keep making the app standalone. Because right now, okay, yeah, the app does function standalone, but it's not designed to be its own thing, like to be super feature packed to sort of leave the cane behind. But we want to develop our development efforts and our whole team to that app. So we want to just do app stuff, not like app and firmware stuff. We want to do faster stuff, more updates. That mobility tracking feature, when we first designed it, we wanted to design it just for the cane. And then we thought, well, wow, let's also design it for the app. Let's bring that feature to the app using the phone sensors instead of just using the cane sensor, so that our app users can also benefit. And that obviously costs money. It costs a lot of time. It's a really difficult thing. So we will be, I know it's not a great thing to say, we will be monetizing the app soon, but for everyone that's joined us now, when our app is free, we will be like providing incentives and discounts and grace periods just to get everyone on the transition. But it's been we've made it really simple app model, you know, something that doesn't have different stages and freemium and premium. Like, we're not about that. We just rather get enough to cover our development costs. And to allow our development team to have a whole separate software focus, rather than let's develop WeWalk hardware and just keep working on the app as a side thing, if that makes sense. So we're really pushing that app as our main solution rather than the smart cane, because just as you said, not everyone's going to want to use the smart cane, but this navigation system can do so many things on its own. Let's keep developing it from the software perspective.
And also, you get so much data coming from all those people using the app.
It's not cheap for our APIs, I can say, by the way. Not even from people. APIs like querying bus stops, and like every time a user logs into WeWalk and asks for a bus stop or asks for navigation, it ends up costing us. It's actually crazy. Yeah. So you pay per query.
Wow.
And we were like, how do we sustain it? Like, we can't just keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go for it.
Mosey, I'm totally blind, and I really do want to try your app. I've had a look at it, and I'm going to try it out a bit more. It looks really, really good. Right, but I want to know: is your company based in America, or I know you international, but is the company American based or British based?
So I may fool you with my slightly American-sounding accent for some reason, but we're a UK-based company, so I'm based here in London. Our headquarters are in London.
That's brilliant. That's the first part. The second part, The government are now saying they want to put disabled people at the forefront of everything they do. This has just come out yesterday. So what about, has the government not approach you, or could you approach them to get them to invest in your company?
So we're lucky that the government has made certain investments in our organization already. So in terms of our Innovate UK project, that's a UKR, so UK Research and Innovation, the government's own funding arm, which is providing our project with Imperial College and the RNIB. In terms of things like access to work and working with the RNIB, so we keep trying. So with the RNIB, we're looking at a distribution partnership. With access to work, we're looking at ways to get WeWALK as an access to work device to sort of spread the word out there, because it is an important device to get you to work. You know, it gives you the confidence to seek employment. Why should it not be an access to work device? So, you know, we're always looking at ways. Right now, I mean, we've tried to keep things as simple as possible. If you'd like WeWALK, we're available. We can even find a way to let you try it if you meet us in London. So we're working on these things. We have absolutely not forgotten our government relations as well. So we're doing what we can.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
I suppose that begs the question as well. You know, I suppose at the moment, you know, the strong point here is the WeWALK cane. So we're using a cane here at the moment. You know, in the future, may you think about other WeWALK products, such as, I don't know, like a smart shoe, or maybe a device that doesn't rely on a cane. So, for example, a guide dog user will not use a cane, so they might rely on, but they want that, not just the phone, but they want that other piece of hardware. Maybe they can wear it or something like that. I mean, am I kind of uncovering some development plans in the future here? I don't know.
All right, you're all hired now. We're going one by one, just throwing out these great ideas.
Like a hat, it's a wearable thing.
Yeah. I know you got to walk before you run, obviously, and you know
that's why it's called WeWALK.
WeWALK,
well,
exactly.
We'll change it to We Run when we get it.
But is that something for the future? You know, I mean, once this is more established, will you think about alternative products that offer the same, you know, have the sensor, but it's not something that relies on the cane, for example?
So yeah, I mean, already we're kind of doing that. So when we started with the smart cane, we're like, smart cane, maybe smartphone, but now we're like smartphone. So it's whatever we see people making the most use of. So right now, our next pivot point was all digital, because most people have a smartphone. There's less cost of buying something. We can do so much with it. But absolutely, I mean, we were thinking of like a WeWALK band, because obstacle detection can be even better on your wrist instead of using a cane. But again, it's all about what will help people the most as quickly as possible. Because in the end, you have to remember, we're not a huge organization by any means. We started out just 2.5 years ago, you know, as a team of 6. So 3 co-founders and then 3 key members in the founding team. So we're very small. We've only recently grown and are reaching new customers and all that. So it's a learning process. And if over time we realize, wait a second, band's a really good idea, or a wearable necklace, or whatever is a really
thinking of like a band or something, because I was going to ask, can you change the intensity of the vibrations that come through the cane? Because I've got a joint problem, a nerve problem, and really harsh vibrations will set off, which is why I've stayed away from smart canes in the past when I tried them.
So unfortunately not. Right now we've got it set at the maximum setting, so it's either off or on. So the vibrations that you get from WeWALK right now really is like the maximum the cane can deliver. Do try it out, I would say, is the most important thing. I don't think we've had complaints from people saying like it's not strong enough. We have tweaked it over the years to sort of make the obstacle detection distances and the way you set that a bit easier. But in terms of detecting vibrations from ground feel versus your actual cane yourself, it should be okay. But again, would highly recommend trying it out before committing. But we've got it set at the maximum.
Like a band or something you can put on your arm would be better for me than it going through the hand. Going through the hand in the wrist that quite often sets it off. Even when I use devices that are on a very low, it still sets it off.
Oh, right. I see. No, so now unfortunately that's what it is. But we'll definitely look into it. I mean, like I said, we are looking at the band idea, different ways of getting that obstacle detection.
The band might be more useful for social distancing unless you've integrated that in the latest software update.
Yeah, no, so funnily enough, one at a time we had social distancing as our maximum setting on WeWALK. It's about 1.8 meters, which is just about close enough. So yeah, we did have it on board, but I just hit people with my cane, to be honest with you. So it works.
Most canes are about nearly 2 meters, aren't they? When they're laid,
yeah,
they
exactly.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah, just
Taking the
wave.
average person talking about,
Exactly. You just wave it around and somehow people move. It's
I think
cycles.
the great thing for me is being able to walk around with the cane and have your phone in your pocket, so that the cane, so the app is getting the compass directional information from the cane, which means you can put your phone in your pocket. There's still a lot of apps that, blind and partially sighted people that we use that actually require us to have the phone out in our hand. Especially for for apps that use, say, the camera for certain things. There's no wearable technology, so it's great that the app is being given that information from the cane. You can put the phone in your pocket, wear your earbuds, whatever earbuds you use or headphones you use, and then all the information is actually coming from the direction the cane is in. And I think that is a huge selling part, because for a lot of us with our phones using GPS, you have to have your phone out in your hand, and that is kind of a bit of a drawback, really, because you're not gonna really interact with the phone while you're navigating. You're not really gonna change anything. You're gonna put that in your pocket, but when you put it in your pocket, it's never as accurate. So having that device sending that directional information, I think is a really good thing. I think.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm just nodding vigorously.
Yeah, I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? Here.
Yeah, you're like. I mean, it's great when someone goes, "Oh, I see why you've designed it like that," and that's just the best part of our job. So glad you see the value. That makes
perfect sense, and I do feel sometimes there are other developments out there that haven't quite got that understanding. They haven't quite grasped that somebody with a visual impairment doesn't necessarily want to be walking around with the phone in the hand all the time.
Stop making me nod my head so much. By the way, it hurts.
Yeah.
like yes.
Excellent stuff. I think we can take one or two more questions, and then we'll let Jean-Marc and Joe disappear, because I know they're really, really busy guys. And this has been a great tech talk today. I've really enjoyed this today. It's been fantastic having you guys come on and tell us about the technology and get some more in-depth. And this is why we love doing the tech talks, get this information out to as many people as we can.
Exactly.
Brilliant stuff. Have we got any more questions from anybody?
Just one thing I was just thinking, the Stevie, when it tells you to get off the bus, it doesn't get mixed up for unscheduled stops a bus might have to make, i.e.,
ride and hail.
Somebody's parked or something like that. It doesn't get that confused and tell you to get off when you shouldn't be getting off. It's a little bit further down.
Yeah. So luckily we do it based.
Open on the bus though, would they?
Oh no, you'd be surprised. So TfL has something called hail and ride, so you can actually just stop a bus wherever you'd like. They're phasing it out now, so it's no longer that common at all. But we're lucky because we don't rely on the transport. We do rely on the transport operator's stop information, but not on their automatic bus arrival information. We do our own arrivals with GPS. So how we do it is that we know that the stop is 270 meters away. We will notify you when you're 270 meters away, and then notify you again when you're like 0 meters, 50 meters away. So we do it based on GPS locations instead of the information given to us by transit operators. So if the bus does stop beforehand, you can still see, I'm 150 meters away from the stop. Chances are I should be riding a bit longer. Now, obviously, if you're, if it's just there's really bad GPS in the area and the WeWALK app just hasn't updated, then it might show 150 meters. But that's like everything going wrong, right? You've got the bus announcements going wrong, the bus doors not opening, the WeWALK app. It's like by that point, I don't know what can help you. So it's like,
You've always got the thing, you can always say, as you get to near the door, you can say, "Excuse me, driver, I'm just double checking that this is the stop." When you first start using the app, do you know what I mean? But you'll know. I think you'll know. We know
I think in your own area, you'll know if it's an unscheduled stop, i.e. to let somebody cross the road or to get round another vehicle or something like that, an unplanned stop.
Yeah, but the doors of the bus wouldn't open, would they? They'd only open when you...
You're right. Yeah, there is a point there. Mosey. Yeah.
Keep opening and closing the doors.
Yeah.
Look, if it's any reassurance, I did manage to get home last night, and I am here. So something's gone right clearly, and it's been going right for the last few years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Excellent,
definitely in Europe, the bus doors wouldn't open. It might be in Asia, but not in Europe.
Yeah.
The stop tracking does work relatively well. I was actually speaking with a user from Germany who's been testing WeWalk app in Smart Cane, and he mentioned how pleasantly surprised he was that it works very well at the Autobahn over there. And he mentioned he takes public transportation every day to get to and from work in other areas of Germany, and it works very well for him.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's really,
Joe,
really
you sounded
encouraging.
you sounded pleasantly surprised that our app works.
I tell you what was really good the other week. I was in London for the Euro final with England.
We don't talk about that anymore. By the way. Sorry,
okay.
it's just,
We don't
don't
talk about.
we don't talk about the Euro finals anymore.
Okay, you don't talk. Well, anyway, I was in London. I was in Watford, and we went kind of navigating out to Wagamama, which I can highly recommend if you like kind of Japanese food. And I put it in on the WeWalk app, and as we were walking to the restaurant, my wife turned around to me and said, "Why isn't it telling us to go that way? Because it's a lot quicker." And then when we were on the way back, she went, "Oh, I know why it wasn't telling us to go that way, because there was no controlled crossings. It was literally like just cross and risk it, like chicken across the road, basically."
Like that.
Yeah. So I was really impressed that the app took me the longest way, but it was the safest way.
Yeah,
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
We don't send
And-
visually
and
impaired
for-
people into active roads. So yeah, that is one of our small design features.
Talking about shortest and safe, we were in York, and we were just using normal. My friend was using normal Google app. We were running late, so we went quickest way. Wasn't the safest way. It took us over about two car parks, two completely open streets, something else. We nearly got squashed on something else. So yeah, it might be shortest, might not be the safest.
Yeah.
No,
Next
it's not
time, you know what
that's
to do.
brilliant.
Get WeWalk on your phone and use that next time, and it'll take you the safest way.
That's brilliant.
So there you go. Well, listen, guys, I'm gonna let Mark and Joe go today. I think it's been a great tech talk, guys. Really enjoyed getting you guys on today, and here's an open invite to ask you to come and join us again in the future, maybe next year. In 6 to 9 months' time, get you back on again to talk about some of the new features that you've developed, because I think that would be really good to catch up again and find out more, because we're really interested in stuff. So thank you very much to you, Joe, again for joining us today from Turkey. I believe you're based in Turkey there, and thanks to you, Jean-Marc, as well for joining us today. Really great, really great.
It's my pleasure, and I'm really looking forward for the next one. We'll show up new WeWalk updates. I'll have some new jokes as well. It'll be even better.
Excellent stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.